Good morning children. Welcome back to macroeconomics class. In the previous few classes you were learning about the national income and the introductory concepts of macroeconomics. Now we can recall some glimpses that you have learned in the previous classes. Unit 1 content, especially the national income accounting chapter, it's very important. So you have to read the textbook also thoroughly. Okay children, now let's go to the topic. Children, when you are starting to study about a subject, first of all, you should know what the subject is related for or what the subject is meant for. Macroeconomics is a branch of economics which studies the aggregates of an economy as a whole or larger unit of an economy. It deals with various issues like national income, distribution, employment, general price level, etc. So macroeconomics, it studies the aggregates of an economy or it deals with the behavior or the performance of an economy as a whole. Next we can check about the features of what are the characteristics of a capitalist economy. The first one is there is private ownership of means of production. Production takes place for selling the output in the market. There is sale and purchase of labor services at a price which is called a wage rate. In the previous year, you have already learned about the three types of economies that were market economy, centrally planned economy, and mixed economy. So, this capitalist economy also known as market economy. So, children, these are the important characteristics of capitalist economy. Children, now we can recall the four major sectors in an economy. As per macroeconomics, an economy is a combination of four sectors. They are households, firms, government or state and external sector. As you know, households consist of people. These people work in a firm as workers and earn wages. Firms are production units. And government is also known as state. The role of government or the role of state includes the framing laws, enforcing them and delivering justice. And the fourth one, external sector consists of export and import. So these are the four major sectors of an economy. We have analyzed about the classification of goods also or the different types of material goods. They are final goods, intermediate goods, consumption goods and capital goods. What are final goods, children? Final goods are ready for use in the sense that no more value has to be added. It's already crossed the production boundary, so it won't go any more further production process. So that are final goods. Final goods are ready for use. At the same time, what are intermediate goods? Intermediate goods are mostly used as a raw material or input in the production process for making the other commodities. Intermediate goods are mostly used as a raw material or input for the production of other commodities. So the value of final goods includes the value of intermediate goods. Then what are consumption goods? Consumption goods are those goods which are directly we can use it directly for the satisfaction of our wants. That are consumption goods. The fourth one is capital goods. Capital goods used in production process like tools, machineries, etc. That can be used for these capital goods can be used for several years. They make the production of other commodities feasible. Next is stock and flow variable. This stock and flow variable we have analyzed already, but these two concept has that much importance in macroeconomics, children. So you go through the main points once again. Stock and flow are independent on each other. Income, output or profits are concepts that make sense only when a time period is specified. These are called flows because they occur in a period of time. Therefore, we need to specify a time period to get the quantitative measures of these. Since a lot of accounting is done annually in an economy, many of these are expressed annually like annual profits or production. So flows are defined over a period of time. A stock is a variable which is measurable at a particular point of time. It has no time limit. Stocks are defined at a particular point of time. However, we can measure a change in stock over a specific period of time, like how many machines were added this year. Such changes in stock are thus flows which can be measured over a specific time period. Next, we can check about gross investment, net investment, and depreciation. Gross investment refers to the total purchase of or production of capital goods during one accounting year. Gross investment refers to the total purchase or production of capital goods during one accounting year. It helps in increasing the production capacity or scale of production of the firm. Then what is net investment? Net addition to capital stock in an economy is measured by net investment or new capital formation. This is expressed as net investment is equal to gross investment minus depreciation. So what is depreciation? The monetary value of an asset decreases over time due to use, normal wear and tear or deterioration. The deduction or deletion which is made from the value of gross investment in order to accommodate regular wear and tear of capital is called depreciation. So children, you go through these important points again, and also you can read your textbook thoroughly. The notes already given to you, and send the answers for test questions as well. Okay children, thank you.